What's going on, guys? So it's been a really long time since I've made one of these like sit down and talk videos, but I've had enough people talk to me about the issues that they have with dating, whether that be Christian or just regular dating in general, to where I felt like I needed to make a video about it. Now, I might not be single anymore, but I certainly have had enough experience being single, about 21 years worth of experience being single, to where I feel like I can make this video with a pretty decent amount of knowledge. So we'll just go ahead and jump right into the problem with dating these days. So as a Christian, we believe that the intent of dating should be marriage, or at least I hope that that's what you think. However, the world does not think that. So for a lot of my dating experience, I was busy trying to find someone that I would be willing to spend the rest of my life with, while other people were looking to see how much they could experience before they reached their mid-20s.
Hey brah, how come you're not interested in Courtney?
We've been over this. Courtney is attractive, but she's not even remotely the kind of person that I'm looking for to spend the rest of my life with. Have you seen the way that Courtney treats people? Like, she's not even remotely a Christian.
Oh, I get it. Why don't you just hit it and quit it, man? Up high.
A lot of people on the outside, even lukewarm Christians, would ask me why I'm looking to settle down so quickly. Now, not to make it sound like relationships and marriage are all about sex and all about being physical with one another, but you tend to see this huge contrast between secular couples who oftentimes take years and years and years to get married, and then Christian couples who are sometimes unbelievably quick and will even meet and get married within a year or even 6 months in some cases, like with my parents. Part of the reason for that, now I'm not saying this is the only reason, but part of the reason for that is because in the secular world, being physical on the first date, being physical throughout your entire relationship is completely normal. And honestly, there's so little difference between dating and marriage for so many people on the dating scene, Christian or not. People live with each other, people sleep with each other, certainly, and just overall treat each other like they're married without making any of that commitment. And God wants sex and those sort of intimate things to be within a relationship. He wants there to be a solid commitment to honor the other person before that kind of intimate thing happens. And so part of the huge problem with dating these days is that if you're a Christian and you genuinely are saving yourself for marriage, like myself and like my girlfriend, it's incredibly hard to meet somebody, particularly at my age, I'm 21 years old, who's willing to wait however long to get married. I had experiences, particularly when I wasn't as devoted to Christ as I am now, where girls that I was interested in kind of almost acted like me deciding that I wanted to save myself for marriage was something that they would have to get over. Now, for anybody out there that's dating, if somebody that you're with tells you that you saving yourself for marriage is something that they'll have to get over in order to be with you, you're with the wrong person, because it's so special to save yourself for that special someone. And that was one thing that I really wanted from my marriage, was I want the person that I end up with to feel like I was worth waiting for. So kind of going along with the idea of lust and how much that's kind of taken over society these days, another point that I was going to make is that the idea of love to this generation in particular, as well as past generations, but particularly this generation, is that Hollywood's definition of love much closer lines up with the Bible's definition of lust. Love is not just a state of being or a thing that you just fall in and out of. Love is a choice and an action that you choose each and every day. The love that we fall in and out of with different people continuously is more of an infatuation than it is love. Our brains are naturally programmed to, when we very first meet someone that we really like, to be completely infatuated, and Hollywood's definition of in love with a person. You know, Hollywood's idea of, as soon as the infatuation wears off, I'm just gonna go find the next one. You know, oh, this didn't work out, so, you know, this wasn't the one for me, so I'm going to go look elsewhere. That's not what love is at all. And so many people in dating don't understand that at all. And so people end up feeling like, you know, oh, I'm going to be with this person. And then another attractive person comes around and it's like, oh, well, I thought I loved this person, but wow, that person, wow, I really love that person so much. You can't, let me tell you something. If you can cheat on whoever you're with, you're really not in love with either one of those people, because it hurts every single person involved. All that is lust of the flesh. That's you honoring and glorifying yourself and your own body, your own pleasure, and completely destroying another person's feelings. So don't fall for Hollywood's version of love, which is really the Bible's version of lust. No one wants to seek God at an early age, and hardly anyone wants to seek God, period, these days. I touched on it earlier, but so many young people are far more interested in seeing what all they can get away with while they're young than living for Christ from the time that they're 18 or 19 years old. So many men and women are well into their 30s or even beyond before they even decide that they want to take their faith seriously at all, if ever. And that's not to say that heaven doesn't celebrate just the same when someone with a past turns to Christ, but it certainly narrows down your options as a young Christian looking to date for marriage when 80% of people your age have absolutely no plans to follow God anytime soon. I specifically remember talking to someone that kind of made me feel like me being a virgin and saving myself for marriage was like a really big deal, and like it was something that they would have to kind of compromise on if we were going to honor that. And I've had so many experiences just kind of being just shocked at what society is like these days. And I've just heard so many comments, and I've heard from so many of you guys about, you know, all the horrible dating stories that you guys have had, and just people that are just straight up fed up with the way that things work.
I'm fed up with this world.
And I understand that things are so difficult, things are so tough if you're single, and trust me, like I said, I've been single for literally like my entire life. This year, this relationship that I've had, that I've just started relatively recently, is the first time that I've ever been really in a relationship with anyone. And so I feel like I'm pretty well qualified to talk about what all I feel like is wrong with this generation in particular for dating. And, you know, it's always been bad, I think, but I think that it's just progressively getting worse. Let me tell you that no matter how hopeless it may seem, with me, I felt like all the doors were closed. I'd explored all my avenues, all my options, as far as finding someone, you know, finding a godly woman to date. And doors open so quickly and things happen so quickly. When God decides it's time for you to meet that special someone, there's no telling how fast it's going to happen. So don't get too down, don't get too low. You know, tonight might be the last night that you go to sleep single. I mean, you never know. You never know what God's going to do in your life. God's timing is perfect. I can tell you with myself, you know, and me and Haley have talked about this, that, you know, I don't think that I would have wanted her to meet me, like a year ago. And we've both had so much personal spiritual growth just in the past year, and you don't know if it's yourself that God is trying to groom and get ready for whoever your future husband or wife is, and you don't know if it could be your future wife or husband that he's trying to groom and that isn't ready for you yet. So let me just encourage you, stay pure, don't give in to temptation, keep yourself pure and holy for whoever your future spouse is. I promise you that you won't regret it. God is going to honor that. God is going to bless you for that. And that might not look exactly like what you want. It might not be on your timeline. But I can promise you this, God's timeline is better than yours. And you might not see it right now, but God is working behind the scenes. He's preparing something for you. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out and helps me to get these videos out to more people that need to hear these kind of messages. I appreciate and love every single one of you guys. Thanks, guys.